At this point in time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. I would ask that in your thoughts and prayers you remember Larry Cimino, former Director of the Department of Consumer Affairs and Weights and Measures, and also Ronald Butler of Old Bridge, who was a member of the Middlesex County Utilities Authority. Dennis, salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call, please, Margaret.
Freeholder Barrett.
Here.
Freeholder Delina.
Here.
Freeholder Polos. Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Scott.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Here. At this point in time, I'd like to recognize North Brunswick Mayor Mac Womack, who's going to talk about Resolution 10-1581, the Polder Farm.
Thank you so very much, Freeholder Director, and thank you so very much, Freeholders. I have with me tonight members of our Township Council who I'd like to ask to join me up here at the podium. Councilwoman Kathy Nicola, Councilman Bob Davis, Councilwoman Santhi Nara. Also with us is our Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services, Lou Ann Benson. We have Freeholders made a request for open space funds that we hope will help us purchase a very valuable and important piece of property in North Brunswick, the Polder Farm, as we call it. The Polder Farm has a long, long history in our township. It is the only remaining farm in our town that is in its natural state. Much of Rutgers agricultural lands are in North Brunswick, actually, and we would like very much the opportunity to have an open farm. Whether it's actually working or not, we hope very much we're going to be able to keep it in much of its natural state. If on the board you can see the Google Map version of the Polder Farm. That's our Board of Education. You get a little bit of the scope of the approximately 80 acres of the farm by seeing the softball field in the left-hand corner. That softball field is right beside our Board of Education, where George's Road, Old George's Road, separates off from Route 130. The Polder Farm has the front area, which is all that's visible from Route 130. The little driveway, straight driveway you see going back to the farmhouse, which is a standing historic farmhouse with foundations that go back, we believe, potentially to colonial times. It's not only scenic, but it's a piece of property that continues to be farmed under an agreement. There's a very healthy crop of corn out there this year in the two sections. It is a big tract that is located right along Farrington Lake. It would be, for our township, a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for us to maintain the heritage that really was North Brunswick for so many years. These are pictures that were taken yesterday. It reflects that Farrington Lake will be, for the very first time, meaningfully accessible for the residents of North Brunswick from this farm. For the first time, we'll actually have the opportunity to present activities for the after-school programs, for our summer camp programs, walkway for seniors that are actually on the lake, where there will be an area that there could be canoes, kayaking, things like that, that we can sponsor as a township. Now, I'm sorry for flying through those, but I know you've got a big agenda tonight. How critical it is for us to try to purchase this piece of property comes not only from the way that it will enhance and maintain and sustain the quality of life that we want to have for our township. It's a necessity. It comes because with foresight several years ago, our planning board had designated this area as a planned adult community. and they had worked out density bonuses that would have provided what we believe would have been one of the finest adult communities in the area. It would have allowed 300-plus units. And one of the pretexts of a adult community, of course, is that we do not have an adult community in North Brunswick, and it would be a housing stock that would be valuable to us. But in planning it, it was not anticipated there would be children in the schools. And as you all are aware, for that type of development, a year and a half ago, the rug was pulled out from under us when the legislature made a change in the law that allowed the 300 units to immediately convert to full family units, not go back to the planning board, but immediately convert. So we faced the possibility, if we are unable to acquire this piece of property, that rather than having a beautiful farm with lake access, rather than having a nice adult planned community, we could have hundreds more children in our school system that would be unsustainable. And for that reason, we have applied to you for open space funds to help us acquire this property, and we are very, very grateful for any favorable consideration you might give us. We believe that it truly, truly represents the very best that Middlesex County can offer North Brunswick, and we are very, very grateful.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say a few words?
The mayor summed it up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. At this point in time, I'd like to open to the public Resolution 10-1581 only. Anyone from the public want to comment on Resolution 10-1581? Any motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to adopt Resolution 10-1581.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much. For a pleasure.
Okay. On to proclamations. Thank you, Mayor.
We have a proclamation recognizing the fourth Monday in September as Family Day, a day to eat dinner with your children, and the following commemorative resolutions. First is recognizing the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence of Middlesex County Incorporated on the occasion of its 30th anniversary. Next is recognizing Crescent Park Senior Housing in Spotswood on the occasion of their 15th anniversary. Next is recognizing Marie Vavra of the Borough of South River on the occasion of her retirement. And last is recognizing Philip Bueno of Boy Scout Troop 66 as he has achieved his Eagle Scout Award.
I need a motion to adopt the resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. I understand Freeholder Valente is going to make the presentation.
Good evening. Will Steve Liga come forward, please? I have been getting these brochures for quite some time, and it comes from the NCADD, which Steve is in charge of, who has done a magnificent job for our county in prevention against drug and alcohol. And the last one I received came recently. It says Prevention Works. And it really reaches out to what's going on with our youth and, unfortunately, their involvement with drugs and alcohol. And right now, the prescription drug abuse is the fastest growing drug problem. So clean out your medicine chests, please. If there's medications there that you no longer use, And sometimes we tend to keep things for a long time. Why, I don't know. But we always think we might have to go to that because kids are hitting whatever they can get, and that is free, which they don't have to go out in the street and buy. So on behalf of the Board of Freeholders, I would like to read this because you have done an extraordinary job, Steve. It has come to the attention of the Middlesex County Board of Freeholders that the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, which we all know by NCADD of Middlesex County Incorporated, is worthy of special recognition as your group celebrates the 30th anniversary of being here. It's a nonprofit community-based organization providing advocacy, support for personal recovery, prevention, education, information, and referral services to Middlesex County residents. Whereas NCADD was founded in 1980 to carry on the legacy of Marty Mann, the first woman to maintain long-term sobriety through Alcoholics Anonymous, educating the community that the addict is a sick person who can recover and deserves to get better. Excuse me. And whereas the NCADD provides quality prevention services to the community and continues to remain true to its original mission, which is to promote the health and well-being of individuals and communities in Middlesex County through the reduction or elimination of alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use problems. Now, therefore, be resolved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex that we do hereby recognize and congratulate the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, NCADD of Middlesex County Incorporated, as they celebrate their 30th anniversary, and is being adopted tonight by the Board of Freeholders. Thank you so much, Steve, for all you've done, and we would like to hear from you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Freeholder Board. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I'm glad that we've been here for 30 years. When I first took the job, I thought, how could the previous director stay in one spot for 18 years? And now I've had the pleasure of being here for another 12. I understand why she stayed. If you notice our name, it's NCADD of Middlesex County. And many times, people confuse us and think that we're a county agency. And in some counties, that might not be such a good thing. But I'm pleased to say in Middlesex County, I'm proud to be a part and to sometimes have that confusion. I think it looks very good on us to be a part. You've supported us for 30 years, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. Thank you. I think so. Wow. You take these ugly glasses off. Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Correspondence?
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Need a motion to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to accept the minutes of the September 2nd, 2010 Freeholders meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now it's time for reports of freeholders. Freeholder Carol Barrett.
Thank you, Director. Good evening, everyone. It is with great pride that I call your attention to Resolution 10-1580 on tonight's agenda. If approved, this action would add 36.2 acres of open space to the Middlesex County Open Space Preservation Program. I, for one, am very thrilled about this. This land, known as the Davison property, lies along the Manalapan Brook in Monroe Township and is connected to the James Burke Park extension. which eventually leads to the Jamesburg conservation area. The purchase helps form a greenway along the brook. If approved, we will pay $92,500 for 36.2 acres of pristine land. My freeholder colleagues and I are committed to answering our residents' call for open space preservation. To date, we have more than 7,000 acres preserved or under contract for preservation. We also have 4,969 acres of preserved farmland throughout the county. At our freeholders meeting on August 19th, Mr. Jordan Rickards, a Republican candidate for freeholder, proposed that we place a value on the nearly 12,000 acres of open space and farmland that have been preserved forever by Middlesex County. Mr. Rickards suggested that we might want to sell these assets off. In compliance with Mr. Rickards' request, I have placed a value on the 7,182 acres of open space that provide hiking, biking, bird watching, the 4,969 acres of farmland that preserve our county's agricultural past, and the 4,942 acres of county parkland that provide playgrounds and ball fields for our children. And the value is priceless. And I repeat that, priceless. The freeholders recognize the importance of preserving our open and green lands so that our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren don't ever have to ask us what a tree looks like, so that our county's rich agricultural heritage is kept alive. But open space purchases also make good financial sense. The more land we save from residential overdevelopment, the less taxpayer dollars are needed to build schools, repair or build roads, improve our infrastructure. I believe the purchase we consider tonight is a sound investment in our county's future. As liaison to the Middlesex County Open Space Advisory Committee, I will continue to work to find valuable open space parcels that can be added to our inventory. I will continue to advocate for the purchase and preservation of lands because it saves taxpayer dollars. I will continue to honor the commitment that this board has made to our residents and to preserve open space and farmland forever. Keeping our commitment, preserving open space, saving taxpayer dollars, once again, priceless. That's my report.
Well said, Freeholder. Well said.
Thank you. Comes from the heart.
Freeholder Stephen J. Peterlina.
Thank you. First, I would like to report on the 5th annual Labor Day weekend concert was a great success. More than 2,000 people crowded onto the lawns at the Stephen J. Campestro Theater in Roosevelt Park on September 5th and greatly enjoyed the performance of the Jukebox Heroes by the Mahoney Brothers and the Fabulous Grease Band. This event is getting bigger and bigger every year, and we have rave feedbacks from the people that were there. On another subject, I would like to report on the progress being made on the beach erosion repairing by two of our parks caused by the several storms that we experienced this past spring. In Oak Ridge, the waterfront park, the project includes installation of 75,000 tons of stone, 9,500 cubic yards of sand. We anticipate that all the work will be completed at the location by the end of October. In the Raton Bay Waterfront Park,
The project consists of similar installation all along the beachfront, plus the reconstruction of the walkway along the beach. That the project will be completed by Thanksgiving. Our Middlesex Conservation Corps has issues and schedules at the events of fall 2010. First up, National Parks Land Day, Saturday, September 25th, 9:30 a.m. to 12 noon at the Iron Brook Conservation Area in East Brunswick. Anybody interested in volunteering, call Valerie Lesko, 732-745-3064. The Corps will also have a fall beach sweep and conservation, the Clean Ocean Action at the Old Bridge Waterfront Park on Saturday, October 23rd, our final planned event of this fall this year. Saturday, November 6th, the Ireland Brook Conservation Area in New Brunswick. You can find the information on the Middlesex County Conservation Corps at the event of our website, www.co.middlesexcounty.newjersey.usa. And we have, anybody want any brochures? We have them here, and I thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Deputy Director Ron Rios.
Thank you, Director. As far as my report goes on Rutgers Extension Services, we had open house at the Earth Center, and it was a complete success. We had over 500 participants throughout Middlesex County that attended. Families toured the many demonstration projects that the kids in the 4-H were involved with. And it's always been a tremendous effort by everyone involved over there. Schools are back in session at our vocational schools. Things are going well. County College, things are back. Things are going well over there. Our college students are getting back into the groove or starting their first years. Craviel Hall is on target as far as the opening of Craviel Hall. Construction is going well. As far as the Middlesex County Environmental Division, in 2008, the DEP adopted rules requiring those responsible for cleanups of contaminated sites to post signs or distribute information. And this law was fully enacted in September of 2009. Since that time, the Environmental Division has been involved very actively enforcing that. As far as my health report goes, obviously it's flu season, and we start our flu immunization clinics have begun already, and it's for residents 18 and over, and they're held throughout the county in 20 municipalities throughout. And the charge is $10 for residents, and for anyone that's a current Medicare card or Medicare holder, they will be billed through Medicare. Our Public Health Department Rape Crisis Intervention Center provides violence prevention to Highland Park school students, and it's Stop, Think, Observe, Prevent, Stop. And it's an 8-week sexual violence prevention program, and it's to educate our students, our kids, teenagers, on developing healthy relationship and boundaries, intervention, drug-facilitated sexual assault, and internet safety. It's a very good program, and if anyone is interested, please contact 732-321-1189, extension 327. And that concludes my report, Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Millie Scott.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. Good evening, everyone. I'm proud to report that Middlesex County has taken a proactive and aggressive approach to ensuring that county can continue to operate and provide critical services in the event of a major emergency, such as a hurricane or man-made disaster. We have just completed our continuity operations and continuation government plan. This plan is a framework for us to follow when emergency responses and recovery are necessary. We enlisted the help of James Lee Witt Associates out of Washington, D.C. to help us develop our plans and plans for every one of our 25 municipalities. Witt Associates, led by former Federal Emergency Management Director James Lee Witt, has experience and hands-on knowledge of public safety, disaster response, continuity of operations, and emergency management issues. The company was contracted by the state of Louisiana for disaster recovery initiatives in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. The city of Philadelphia hired Witt to conduct a top-to-bottom emergency preparedness assessment. The firm also counts the city of Houston and the states of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, and New York as clients. And tonight, I have asked Ann Hardwick, who is our county's COOP COG program manager and who worked closely with WIT Associates in developing this plan, to give us an overview of the project and where it is going. Ann, would you please?
Is this on? Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Freeholder Scott. Tonight I'll be discussing the county's progress and future plans for the Middlesex County Continuity of Operations and Continuation of Government Program. Middlesex County is responsible for essential governmental functions, such as providing public health and safety, providing critical human services, and for maintaining infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and public facilities. The county must be prepared to conduct emergency operations to respond to urgent situations, especially during catastrophic events that may severely impact the county's ability to function. The county must also be prepared to recover from these disasters. The Continuity of Operations, also known as COOP, is a framework that guides the county and its departments so that we can continue to perform our essential functions regardless of the size or type of emergency or hazard that may disrupt normal operations. The continuation of government, also known as COG, is a coordinated effort within the county's executive branch to ensure that the government can continue to govern. Okay, where we are now in our process. The county developed response and recovery plans for all its offices using the expertise of James Lee Witt Associates. This large document, part of it's right here. That's only the draft document, and our final plan is electronic, on disk and on encrypted air cards. Okay, now I forgot where it was. This large document incorporates all aspects of county government and guides us in the application and implementation of activities necessary to manage various emergency situations. This county component is now completed. The county recognized that a coordinated response between ourselves and our municipal partners is also essential. To that end, the county's contract with Witt Associates included planning services for each individual municipality. Witt Associates worked with each town to prepare their plans, and the county funded the entire project. The county's plan will remain a living document, constantly going through changes and updates as the needs and makeup of the county evolve. A tabletop exercise was held in April at the Middlesex County Fire Academy. Representatives from all county departments, as well as Freeholders Rafano, Rios, and Scott, participated in a simulated event wherein power was lost to the county's New Brunswick facilities. This exercise assessed the county's ability to respond, function, and continue to provide essential services. This exercise was a success and provided a valuable learning experience which identified strengths and weaknesses in our plan. We are currently reviewing our after-action report to address areas in need of improvement in the overall county plan. A disaster recovery of the county's automated financial system was held in August. The recovery test was successful and ensured that our financial system's primary and backup computers work, transmit, and recover data as they should. Middlesex County was the first county in New Jersey to institute a COOP-COG program that integrated a county plan with municipal COOP-COG plans. As stated earlier, WIT assisted all municipalities in the creation and completion of their COOP-COG plans. Upon conclusion of this contract, all municipalities were provided with a copy of their plan documents. For those municipalities who were unable to address all the information requested, they have these documents to use as a template, as well as recommendations from Wood Associates. And finally, where we're going. One of the important goals in the COOP-COG plan is to establish viable alternate facilities in the event that a county office or location is unusable. While it is easy to say that departments can relocate to alternate county sites, these sites may not always be the best available. The alternate facilities currently identified in the county's plan are preliminary sites. Assessments and on-site surveys need to be completed to determine viability that includes space requirement, infrastructure, communications, and geographic considerations. Alternate sites can include county buildings or locations, other governmental building or locations, and/or private sector building or locations. And secondly, a pre-disaster recovery plan also needs to be addressed. This plan should encompass county government as well as local government. High probability hazards affecting the county and all local municipalities may impact utilities, short and long-term housing, debris removal, public health and safety, and public information strategies. A pre-disaster plan that addresses these needs will assist the county and local governments in the recovery efforts in the event we are faced with the unexpected. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you and our county OEM coordinator, Rory Zach. You were instrumental in putting this plan together. And there's a lot of work to still be done. And again, I want to say thank you. Tonight, under resolutions 10-1621 and 10-1622 on tonight's agenda, would accept proposals from James Lewitt Associates to help us prepare an alternate facilities assessment and a pre-disaster recovery plan, the two areas identified as needing attention. I encourage my freeholder colleagues to approve these resolutions so we can fully complete our plans, ensuring that we can continue to operate, that we can continue to serve our residents, and that we can keep them safe in the event of an emergency. And again, I want to say thank you, Ann and Rory, for being part of this. You know, on September 10th, expansion of the Middlesex County Police Training Center was dedicated to our late freeholder director, Dave Crabiel. Director Crabiel was an advocate for police officers and making sure they continue their education and training. Taking part of that was the Director Rafano, Director Rios, and Deputy Director Rios, and Carol Barrett. The expansion illustrates our commitment to the safety and the security of our law enforcement officers, all personnel, and all who live and work in Middlesex County. It makes it very possible for us to train, ongoing training for police officers and law enforcement officers, municipal and county, so we can expand the academy so we can include more people for training, which is a must in the field of law enforcement. And again, I'm very proud the dedication was made to former freeholder director David Crabiel. You know, law enforcement covers many aspects. And one of them that I'd like to speak about tonight is our Middlesex County Division of Weights and Measures. Because of their swift and efficient action, they stopped a local gas station from selling regular gas for premium prices. The division, which conducts inspections of fuel pumps and random testing of octane levels throughout the year, found that gasoline at a Delta gas station on New Brunswick Avenue in Perth Amboy had inaccurate octane levels. A sample of gasoline was taken to an accredited laboratory to further testing. The lab confirmed the octane levels were incorrect. The station owner, A&D Fuel, LLC, pleaded guilty on August 18th in Perth Amboy Municipal Court of knowingly substituting and selling regular 87 octane gasoline as premium 93 octane gasoline in violation of the New Jersey State Unfair Practices of Statute. A&D Fuel was fined $39,000. And the court ordered that the station close for 15 days beginning September 1st. The mini-mart attached to the station remained open. And I want to commend our Consumer Affairs Director, Bill Deinzer, and his staff for the continued diligence in protecting Middlesex County consumers. You know, I had an opportunity last year to go around with Bill to the different supermarkets and see how they weigh in, and they check the different supermarkets and pharmacies. I didn't get an opportunity to do the gas stations yet, but from what they explained to me, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And again, Bill, thank you for doing what you do. Operation Take Back New Jersey. Operation Take Back New Jersey is a program that was initially introduced by the Drug Enforcement Administration in 2009 in the state of New Jersey. The program was designed to remove unused, unwanted, and expired medicine from the homes of residents of our state, which is a major source of drug abuse. Sometimes we think that just because we give prescription drugs that it's okay, but they can be abused. It also helps ensure proper disposal of the drugs, which helps the environment, as drug merely flushed down the toilet or discarded in the trash can lead to contamination of our water supply. Due to the success of last year's program in the state, it is being offered once again, and for the first time being expanded to occur nationwide. And you may have heard it on the news about Operation Take Back. This year's program is slated to take place on Saturday, September 25th. So I'm encouraging all our residents and anybody that's in the audience tonight, to, if you have anything in your medicine cabinets, please be part of Operation Take Back. Anyone who wishes to safely discard any household drugs, whether they're over-the-counter or prescription, may do so by taking them to a local police station between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on September 25th. A police officer will be standing by with a container into which the drugs can be discarded. There will be no questions asked. This is the second year in a row we have a commitment to our 25 municipal law enforcement agencies and Rutgers University to participate in this program. And on behalf of Prosecutor Bruce Kaplan and the law enforcement community in Middlesex County, I strongly encourage all residents to take advantage of this opportunity to get rid of these drugs. You know, sometimes we have drugs in the medicine cabinet and we have young children in our home or even teenage children, and sometimes we get a prescription drug for something and we don't use it all, and we leave it in the medicine cabinet. It can easily be abused. So please, if you have anything in your medicine cabinet, take part in Operation Take Back. Thank you for your directive.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Blanquita Valente.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I want to announce and remind my fellow freeholders that next week we will have our senior health and fitness walk at Roosevelt Park. And it's important that we all get out there and do our thing. It was very inspiring in the last few years to see seniors, and you know, you're considered a senior from 55 on, whether you have white hair or don't have any, it doesn't matter. And we all need our exercise. It's a wonderful event. It's sponsored by our Department of Aging. Everyone that comes will get a little bag with all kinds of souvenirs from various companies that donate them. Certainly not medication, but things like mouthwash and toothpaste, etc. And we do the walk around Roosevelt Park, around the lake. And it's great to see that many people. I think last year we had at least 500, maybe a little bit more, that registered and participated. You can register here in the county or at your senior center if your community has one. It's a great event. Lunch is provided, and usually it's a nice day. So I hope that my freeholder colleagues will be able to come and join us on the 22nd, right, Peg? On the 22nd at Roosevelt Park in Edison. On the other hand, concerning the Department of Human Services, we are conducting a county-wide needs assessment. We have launched this. Well, actually, it's going to start at the end of this month, which is around the corner. And we have been scheduled to assist a series of 6 focus groups, which will be held in different locations throughout the county, including North Brunswick, Perth Amboy, Edison, New Brunswick, Saraville, and Piscataway. And there will be a facilitators training next week at Elijah's Promise. And the first focus group will be held on Tuesday, January 28th at the Fire Academy. And what will the topics include? Basic needs and immigration, youth and children, health, adults and seniors, and a concluding summary session. Many invitation letters have been sent to superintendents, principals, mayors, housing authority directors, various human services advisory board members, and United Way board members. And the sponsors and the key collaborators in this process include the Rutgers the School of Social Work at Rutgers, the County Municipal Alliance, and the Puerto Rican Action Board. I will be distributing these to my colleagues, and we will leave some here on the dais for anyone in the audience who would like to attend. I hope it will be successful. We need this because we're creating a collective vision for our entire community. And I hope that if we have the right time to check the pulse of our communities, to gauge the human services needs in Middlesex County, and to identify priorities and action items to drive our future plans. Thank you very much, Freeholder Director.
Thank you, Freeholder. A couple things to report. This Saturday at 2 o'clock, I will be attending a very special MIA POW ceremony at the St. James Episcopal Church in Edison. This day will honor all the men and women who are MIA or POWs and their families. It will specifically honor Major Ronald Mayersick, a resident of Edison who's MIA, graduate of Edison High School class of 1962, and a member of the St. James Episcopal Church. There will also be a dedication of a flagpole and a plaque, and that was an Eagle project by an Eagle Scout in Edison, so I'm looking forward to that. I did attend the dedication of the expanded police training center, as Freeholder Scott said, and today, along with Deputy Director Rios and Freeholder Scott, attended a groundbreaking ceremony of what will be the senior housing development called the Parkview in Perth Amboy. We contributed toward that to the tune of $1 million. There'll be 84 new residential units for those seniors that qualify. It's going to be an outstanding project. It was a nice groundbreaking. It was a good day. I also want to report that I did attend the opening of the new Sam's Club, which is the first new store at the Ford plant development site right off of Route 1. I spoke to the vice president of the development company, Hartz, and I asked him, when the whole project is done, what do you anticipate in terms of employees or people that are going to be employed here? He said 6,000. So that's great news for Edison Township, great news from certainly Middlesex County. And the last thing I want to report on is the last few meetings I've been announcing the results of audits. Every year we have to audit different departments in the county. Well, I have the audit for the Adult Correction Center, and as the other ones I've announced, there are no recommended changes or no recommendations. So that's good news. Warden Chicky, great job to you and your staff. That's all I have. Mr. Kelso?
Yes, Director, there are, excuse me, there are no resolutions to be amended. There are no resolutions to be added. There is one resolution to be held as per directive as of Monday evening. That's Resolution 10-1646 on page 7. And there are no resolutions to be voided.
Okay, at this point in time, I'd like to open the meeting up to the public for resolutions listed on the agenda. Anyone from the public to comment on resolutions on the agenda?
Motion.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, resolution 10-158.
You have to
Come up to the podium.
come up to the podium, please, and your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Marshall Jones. I'm the executive director of the Crossroads Theater Company. My address is 969 Glen Avenue, North Brunswick. That's my personal address. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. I'd like to thank the county and the freeholders for their continued support of the Crossroads Theater Company. Perhaps you're aware that the Crossroads Theater Company won the coveted Tony Award in 1999. We have had some ups and downs, but I'm pleased to say that we're experiencing some ups right now. Our season is very, very exciting, and I think today the timing is impeccable because we had our first rehearsal today in New York City for our opening show. The show is called Train to 2010, and it's a new play by a South African artist named Sibusiso Mamba, and he just arrived on Tuesday, and we're very excited about this play because it looks forward. It looks ahead at the new South Africa. South Africa is the youngest democracy in the world. They just did a very admirable job with the World Cup, and that's exactly the subject matter that the play deals with. How can people in a country full of racial strife and circumstances now get along? And believe it or not, there are a lot of parallels to that play with our very own country here. So we are very, very proud of that production, and we are proud that you guys have supported us. As you know, Crossroads is an African-American theater company, but one of the things that we're excited about now is that we are embracing the multicultural world that we now live in. So we have our first show is from South Africa, and our next show is a holiday jubilee that we'll be creating ourselves that will have a multicultural perspective and celebrating various cultures and how they celebrate the holidays from around the world. So we're very, very excited about that, and we're excited about the continued support from the Freeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public on resolution items only?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Does any Freeholder have any resolution that they wish to remove from the consent agenda and vote on separately?
Yes, I have one, Freeholder Director. 10-1597.
97, you said?
Yeah.
1597, 1597, yes.
Okay.
On
Anybody
page
else?
2.
I have the same one, too.
Okay. Mr. Kelson?
Yes, Freeholder Director, at this point, a motion would be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 10-1580 through 10-1671, excluding resolution 10-1581, which was previously voted upon, resolution 10-1646, which is to be held, and resolution 10-1597, which is to be voted upon separately.
1596.
1597.
7.
97.
Okay. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Scott. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider resolution 10-1597, which was excluded by both Freeholder Valenti and Freeholder Rios.
Okay. I need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Scott, seconded by Freeholder Barrett. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett,
Yes.
Freeholder Delina,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Present not voting.
Freeholder Scott,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Present not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay. At this point in time, I'd like to open this meeting to the floor, to the general public. Any questions? And remember, there's a 5-minute rule.
Jordan Rickards, North Brunswick, 10 Lake Drive. I have a bit of a cold, so I'm going to be very brief, and I apologize if I can't be heard. Question for Freeholder Barrett. My memory is not what it used to be. Can you just help me out? Was it me or was it you this year who voted to cut $11 million from open space? Was that me or was that you?
It was me.
Okay. And Mr. Delina voted on that, correct? And Freeholder Valenti voted on that? And Freeholder Rafano voted to cut $11 million from open space, and Freeholder Rios and Freeholder Scott voted to cut $11 million from open space, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and true or false, last time I was at this microphone, I said we should sell open space? Is that true or false?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get the tape from that day, and if it turns out I said that, I'm going to donate $1,000 to Ms. Scott's campaign for sheriff.
Oh, great.
And if I didn't say that, will you donate $100 to my campaign for Freeholder?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I never waste my money.
Well, it wouldn't be a waste if I really said that. You wouldn't owe me a penny.
Actually, I have a transcript right here.
Where I said we should sell open space.
No, that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Got a bell.
Good evening. I'm Keith Hackett. I live at 3 Avenue D, Monroe Township. I'd like to bring up an issue that I saw an article today in the Sentinel, and it had to do with an issue that was brought up at the last Freeholders meeting regarding filming of a political ad in Roosevelt Park utilizing county resources. And I just have a couple questions about the article that appeared today in the Sentinel, and I just have a couple comments to make. Director Rafano, you were quoted as saying that all but one of the law enforcement officers who attended the filming event in uniform either volunteered their time or were off that day. Well, I have a question directed at Freeholder Millie Scott. Ms. Scott, when did you find out that this officer shouldn't have been at the scene of this political ad? And number two, who ordered the sheriff's officer to report to the scene of the filming of this political ad on your behalf?
I just want to rectify one thing. All questions have to go through me as the director and chair here.
Okay.
And if you lay your questions out in advance, then we'll have Freeholder Scott answer each one individually.
Okay. Well, can she please answer that question?
Let me just clarify something. As a matter of policy in the board, all the time, you should identify yourself. You are a Republican candidate for sheriff. Is that correct?
Well, thank you for pointing that out. I am the Republican candidate for sheriff. I'm a retired captain from the New Jersey State Police, and in that capacity, I oversaw the Official Corruption Bureau as well as the Office of Professional Standards, so I'm well aware of how a professional law enforcement organization should be run and how it should be run. So can I have, please, can Millie Scott please answer that question, sir?
I wanted you to ask all your questions that you had for, and then we'll
Ask all you the questions first to you?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the first question. The second question was, any of the other officers that you said were at the filming of this commercial was using vacation and personal time. My question is, did any of those officers or people use a county vehicle and drove to the scene? My third question is, the political ad was done to promote you for sheriff, Freeholder Scott. The Sentinel was reporting that the commercial will be pulled. If there was no wrongdoing or anything improper done with this commercial, my question is, why is the commercial being pulled? My last question is, as the chairman of the Law and Public Safety Committee and as a Freehold candidate for sheriff, if you were to learn that records were tampered with, timesheets were tampered with at the sheriff's office, will you join with me in asking for an investigation of that? That's it.
Yeah, before we go any further, I have a statement that...
Let's make sure. Are they all the questions that you have?
Yes.
Okay. I just have a statement that I'd like to read at this point in time. The Middlesex County Democratic Organization handles the political campaign for the Democratic candidates for freeholder, sheriff, and county clerk. The Middlesex County Democratic Organization's work includes the creation and distribution of all political materials. As we all know, individuals who work for county law enforcement agencies, as well as our municipal law enforcement agencies, have always been active in political campaigns and do so on their own time. We appreciate the support that the law enforcement members of our community give to our candidacy on a voluntary basis. It is no different in this year's campaign. That being said, it had come to my attention that one individual in the Sheriff's Department was on county time and not volunteering his time during the filming of a political commercial for our sheriff candidate. I have requested that the Middlesex County Democratic Organization reimburse the county for this time as well as the cost of the officer's vehicle. That has in fact been done already. Let me reiterate that all other law enforcement individuals involved in our filming volunteered their personal time. All of our county employees have a responsibility to the jobs they perform. We will not tolerate the misuse of county time or resources. I have directed the county administrator to ensure that policies and procedures are reviewed with every county department head to ensure strict compliance by our entire staff.
Okay, can you now answer my question, please?
That was
it?
my statement.
Okay.
Okay.
That's your question.
That's it? You're not going to answer my questions?
We stand
Okay.
by the statement that we give.
Okay. I just think removing that commercial and not playing it speaks volumes. In fact, that's priceless. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good evening, Candace Gria, 136 Bernard Avenue, Edison, New Jersey. My question is directed at the discussion of the political ad which was filmed on September 2nd, specifically with regard to, as previously addressed, the use of the county vehicles and the reimbursement to the county from the county's Democratic Party. I guess in the interest of procedure, I will ask all of my questions at once and wait for my answers. My first question is with regard to the payment from the county's Democratic Party to the county for the use of these resources and personnel. Would the Freeholder Board agree that that would amount to, say, renting or leasing county resources and personnel for use in a political advertisement? If so, is there a county policy which allows this or expressly prohibits this? And then my third question would be, would the Republican Party be able to lease or rent the county vehicles and personnel for use in a political ad if they so chose?
Let me answer that because I think you're asking a legal question. As stated in the director's statement, it was not appropriate. Therefore, a calculation was done which identified the value of that vehicle's use for that day, which included wear and tear and mileage, and the value of the officer's time. And that time was reimbursed by the organization at the direction of the director. The answer is no. You can't lease a vehicle. No, the Republican or the Democratic Party cannot lease or rent the county vehicle or county equipment. It was not appropriate, and it was reimbursed.
Okay, thank you. In closing to that, I guess that answers all of my questions, and I personally would just like to say, as a resident of this county, as a young individual who is interested in politics and would like to hopefully one day make a career in public service, I do have to say that I personally see a grave concern with regard to this political advertisement being filmed in the first place. If Mr. Hackett, who spoke at the September 2nd meeting, hadn't come up and addressed this issue, I have great concern that this ad would have gone on to appear on TV and that the county would not have been reimbursed, that the taxpayers would not have been reimbursed for their expenses. And I think that that paves a very slippery slope for the future of anybody wishing to engage themselves in county politics. And I think it sets a very, with all due respect, a very bad precedent for the use of county public resources for political purpose and political gain. Thank you very much.
Anybody else from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. A motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.